What's up, everyone? I hope you guys had a great new comic book day. So today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for new comic book day, March 24th, 2021. I picked up 10 books this week. One of them was a community recommendation from last week's new comic book day, and I got another surprise issue in there from a few new comic book days ago. So stick around to see who claims number one. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, AR Comics, and today I'm going over my top 10 list for this new comic book day, March 24th, 2021. But before I get started on this list, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content that'll keep you up to date on all of the latest releases. So if that sounds like something you do not want to miss out on, make sure you hit the subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this top 10 list. So I hope you guys had a great new comic book day and you were able to get all the issues you wanted to read this week. Honestly, I was really looking forward to this week. There was a lot of big name titles and just new issues coming out that I was looking forward to reading. As I was saying before, I picked up 10 issues this week. I did miss out on Dr. Aphra number 8. I added it to my pull list too late, and I also wasn't able to get the recount number 3. I was able to pick up the first 2 issues, so I was excited about that, but they didn't have extra copies of number 3, so eventually I'll grab that one too. So 8 of these issues are from this week's new comic book day. One of them is a community recommendation from last week, and the other one is going to be a surprise that I wasn't anticipating on being able to pick up, but I was so happy I found it, and it was incredible. So as far as this list goes, we have coming in at number 10 this week, Images, Haha, issue number 3, and this is cover A. And I know I just got done saying I'm really looking forward to all the issues this week, and this was one of them, but I felt like it was a massive letdown. It didn't feel the same as the first 2 issues. It just had a totally different vibe to it, and I just didn't like it. The artwork was more on the cartoonish side, and I get that because this one's kind of following a mime, but this issue, it had no dialogue, and it just didn't have that creepy horror feel to it. I don't know, it was a mime, he was low on money, which is kind of following the same storyline as the last 2 issues, and I don't know, the route that they went with it, it just did not feel like a Haha or even an Ice Cream Man type issue. It felt like a standalone thing. It didn't really follow suit to the other ones, and in my opinion, it just really wasn't that good. If you did like this one, let me know what you think about it down low, but for those reasons, coming in at number 10, and I hope it picks up in issue number 4. And up next, we have coming at number 9 this week. This is Marvel's new one, Carnage, Black, White, and Blood. This is the Patrick Gleason variant. And if you're not a Marvel fan, you're more of a DC reader, the best way to describe this one is like the Batman's Black and White series, where it just has a bunch of different short stories in it. And that's how this one's set up. It has 3 different short stories in it, and honestly, I thought all of the stories were alright. They weren't anything too special. The artwork, though, I love the artwork. I thought it was very detailed. It was just very well done overall. And I loved how the Carnage red and the Blood red really popped on all of the pages. I know that's obviously what they were going for, but I think they did a great job at doing it. As far as the stories went, I thought they were all right. The first one, didn't really like that one. The second one was a Western one, and I thought that one was very good. The third one, though, while it didn't really land with me, I love the concept of it. If you grew up reading Goosebumps like I did, later in the years, they came out with these Goosebump series that you kind of decided how the book went. Like, you finished a page, and it gave you an option. It said, if you chose this, go to this page or go to this page, and that's how this one was set up. If you picked the option, it said read this panel or read this panel, and while, like I said, it didn't really land with me, I thought it was a really cool concept, and it just reminded me of the Goosebumps series, and I loved those growing up. So overall, I think the issue was okay, nothing really too crazy to talk about. If you're a big Spidey, Carnage guy, definitely pick it up, give it a read, it's worth it, but if not, definitely skippable. I mainly, honestly, really wanted this one for the Patrick Gleason variant. I didn't really have high expectations for it, but it was at least a little bit better than I was hoping for, so for those reasons, coming in at number 9. And next up, we have coming in at number 8 this week, Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 24. This is cover A. And overall, I thought it was a pretty good issue. I understand that these are going to be slower, filler issues until Miles' Clone Saga starts next month. But overall, I really like what Saladin Ahmed's doing with Miles and just the story overall. So about 2 issues ago, when these fillers kind of started, we had Starling, Miles, they were off doing their own thing. It was kind of like a little date issue. And then the last issue was Kamala and Miles with the whole King in Black event going on. It was pretty focused on that. that. It was kind of like a little tie-in, even though it was part of the Miles series. And now this one's just the aftermath of all that. We still have Kamala and Miles. They're off doing their own thing. It was just a nice issue. The one problem that I really had with it, though, is that the King in Black event is still going on. There's still tie-ins being pumped out for it, but this issue is the aftermath of all the King in Black stuff. They're making references to it, saying, oh man, look at the destruction no left, look at this, there's no more flying dragons. And I thought that was a big turnoff because I'm really enjoying that King in Black series. I've read a few of the tie-ins. I thought it was pretty good, but I don't like how this is just a reference to that event being over with when in reality it's not over with. That's just my opinion. If you felt the same way, let me know what you think about it down low. But for those reasons, coming in at number 8. And next up on the list, we have coming in at number 7 this week. This is the community recommendation, Nightwing 78. This is cover A, and I'm very thankful you guys turned me on to this issue because I've never read a Nightwing issue before. I don't really know a lot about this character. You guys already know I'm not a big DC reader, but I'm very thankful for this one. I thought this was a great jumping on point. As someone who doesn't know almost anything about this character, we got a little bit of background knowledge without going too in-depth of it. So I felt like it was good for new readers and other readers as well, especially because everyone was saying, you gotta read it, you gotta read it. So it started off, we got a little bit of a background, and then it just kind of progressed from there, and we see who he is today and kind of where the story is going. I highly recommend this to everybody. This is the one that came out last week, but for those of you who were interested in it, but you were a little turned off because you saw 78 on there, don't worry about it. I was a new reader. I've never read anything with Nightwing before, but I thought it was a great jumping on point. So like I said before, thank you very much for all the recommendations for it. For those reasons, coming in at number 7. And now, coming in at number 6 this week, we have DC's brand new series, Teen Titans Academy number 1. This is cover A, and I really enjoyed this issue. I loved everything about it. I love the artwork. I like how they laid the whole story out so far. The one problem I had was basically how I went into it. I love Strange Academy. I talk about it all the time on this channel, but I read this as if it was going to be like Strange Academy. I was going through the pages thinking, well, I like how Strange Academy issue 1 did this, and I like how they presented this better, and I thought this was better. So I ended up rereading this issue kind of with a better mindset now that I got through it once. And for those of you that may have done the same thing, don't go into it with that mindset. This is a great standalone issue. This is a whole separate series. This is DC's version of it, and I'm really looking forward to the next ones. That's, I think, going to be the problem with me, though, is we're so deep in Strange Academy, and I love it so much. I'm going to want this to be just like that, when in reality, it's not going to be. We have a whole bunch of different characters, a lot of them that I've never even heard of, because like I said, I'm not a big DC guy, but I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with this story, and I can't wait to learn more about these characters. So coming in at number 6. And now we're down to the top 5 issues of the week. Coming in at number 5 this week, we have Image's Stray Dogs, issue number 2. This is cover A. Sadly, I couldn't get the horror movie variant, but I still am happy I was able to get this issue. I really liked it. I talked highly of the first issue. However, in my opinion, if you haven't read the first issue, you were kind of on the fence with it, and you didn't pick up issue number 2 for that reason, I think this series is going to be better read as a trade. I'm going to keep going with it because I already have the first 2 issues, and I feel invested in it a little bit, but I'm really getting those Silence of the Lambs vibes. The first issue, we got pretty much what the whole story was going to be about. This one progressed it a little bit more, but it's more on the mystery side. They're trying to solve a little bit of clues here and there, just seeing what they can uncover. And then the dogs are slowly learning a little bit what that new dog was talking about in the first issue, but I just don't think a whole lot is going to be happening with this series, and for those reasons, I think it's going to be much better read in a trade paperback. Let me know down below what you're thinking about this one, because I mean, I do really like it. I think it's very good. I love the artwork, but I just think for best bang for buck, this is going to be better in the trade paperback, but for those reasons, coming in at number 5. And now we have, coming in at number 4 this week, Scumbag, issue number 6. This is cover A, and this is also a brand new arc. So in my Sunday's preview video, I said I don't think this is going to be a good jumping on point because they were pretty in-depth with what happened in the first arc. I was wrong. I think this is a great jumping on point. They give a little bit of background on what happened in the last arc. Nothing too crazy, but they do a great job in this issue setting up exactly how this next arc is going to be laid out. So while you are going to miss out on a little bit of the background of who Ernie is, and he's worth reading about, definitely get a trade paperback for it. I still think you could pick this one up without reading the last ones. Now, as far as the rest of this issue goes, I would have put it higher on my list past number 4, but I did not like that artwork at all. So with this series, each issue has a brand new artist, so that's also kind of been a slight turnoff to this series with me, because some issues I really like the art, but the story's okay, and in other issues, the story itself is incredible, but the artwork is meh. This one, though, I did not like the artwork. I didn't think it was good. I kind of thought it took away from the story itself. But in my opinion, other than issue number 1, because I thought that was incredible, I think this is probably the next best issue that they've had so far for the Scumbag. So for those reasons, coming in at number 4. And now we're down to the top 3 issues of the week. Coming in at number 3, we have AWA's Year Zero, Volume 2, Issue number 5, and this is the end of the series. And man, they wrapped it up so well. This is such an incredible series to me. I loved Volume 1. I love Volume 2 just as much. I don't know which one's better than the other one. I may need to go reread Volume 1, but as far as this one goes, they have 5 issues to do this, and they created 4 different groups of characters, progressed all 4 of them, developed them, gave them an entire story, and they wrapped it up. Well, they pretty much wrapped it up. There's going to be another volume coming out. It'll probably be a different set of characters, but they've just created such a story in just 5 different issues. I highly suggest it. I tell everybody this is an absolute must-read from AWA. It's definitely my favorite one coming out from them. They've got so many other good ones, but this is definitely the best, and I love the artwork. Everything about Year Zero is just completely on point, and for those reasons, coming in at number 3. And next up, we have coming in at number 2. This is Marvel's brand new series this week. We have Alien issue number 1. This is the Patrick Gleason variant, and this issue was way better than I was anticipating. So during my Sunday preview video, I was talking about how I think this is going to be the one issue that I'm looking forward to most this week, but I'm going to keep my expectations very low, because honestly, I just didn't think Marvel was going to be able to put out a good Alien series. They definitely proved me wrong. I really enjoyed it. I liked the artwork a lot too. It was very clean. It looked very nice. You could tell it was more on the digital side though. It looked like it was done on a computer. It looked too nice on that aspect. But as far as the story itself goes, it was definitely more on the slower side. I wasn't expecting a lot of action. I wasn't expecting a whole lot to happen right off the bat. They did a great job developing this story. We got to see a couple different characters, a little bit on their background story. Like the one main character, we got to see what he's done in the past, why he's where he's at now, and basically where things are going to go. I don't want to spoil it too much for you guys, because I do highly suggest reading this yourself. Let's talk about it down low in the comment section. But seriously, I think Marvel did do a great job with this one, and I'm really looking forward to the next issue. So for those reasons, coming in at number 2. And here it is, my top read of the week. We have coming in at number 1, this is the surprise issue I was telling you about in the beginning of the video. This book did not come out this week, but it still is a new release that a lot of people have been telling me I need to find, and I finally found one. We have Eniac number 1. This is a second print. You could tell it's a second print because of the black lettering at the top. If it was a first print, it would all be white. But holy hell, this was an incredible issue, and I highly suggest it. The artwork, the story, the characters, the plot development, everything was just so incredible. We got a background story while the main story is still going on, and the setup for the next issue is just, I cannot wait for it. I've been seeing everybody talk about it and post it, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. I'm seeing it on eBay too. Everyone is selling this first print for an insane amount of money. People are selling 9.8s. They were going for about $7.50, maybe even a little bit more, but they dropped down a little bit. I'm very okay with having a second print. I spent, after shipping and taxes, probably about $23, $24, so I overspent a little bit on it, but I just really wanted to read it. I feel like everyone that's selling this book right now, and they're just trying to push it, most of them, not saying all of them, but most of them probably haven't even read it. But I'm just saying, if you can get a hold of this book under $30, I probably personally would spend around $30. I'd still be very satisfied with this issue. So I'm going to put it around that price. But what it's about is they created a computer system like years and years ago that's called Eniac, and now basically this computer system went crazy and it kind of runs the planet and no one knows how to stop it. That is all I'm talking about with this issue. This is 100% one we're going to be talking about down low in the comments section, because I know a lot of people have not had an opportunity to read this, but that's just a very, very basic background on what this story is about. You need to pick one up for yourself, but easily, hands down, my top read of the week, Eniac number 1. So what'd you guys think of this week's new comic book day? Honestly, besides like one or two books, I thought it was overall very good. And thank you so much for the recommendation on Nightwing. That issue was fantastic. If you were on the fence about it, make sure you pick it up. It's a great jumping on point for new readers and readers like me who don't really know anything about that character. And seriously, Eniac #1. You gotta go out and you gotta try and find it. If you can't find it, read somebody else's. It's a fantastic story and it's only going to get better. But thank you for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.